Welcome to the Cold Calling 101 Appointment Setting YouTube channel presented by the Capone Performance Group. My name is Barry Capone, and I'm the founder and president of CPG, and I'll be the host on these videos. In the video, 6 Reasons Why Managing Appointment Setting Programs is So Difficult, one of the topics we covered was why everyone has been operating under what we like to call a mistaken assumption. And that assumption is that to get quality targets into the pipeline, we can just use the same skills, tools, and processes that work so well for us to move a prospect through the pipeline to closure. In this video, we're going to break down the skills portion of that mistaken assumption and address why the same skills that work in the pipeline phase of selling don't work when trying to set appointments. So I've been in the selling game all my life, and I will have to admit to you that I also used to be under the assumption that the skills necessary to get a prospect through the pipeline were identical to those required to get a target to meet with me for the first time. It wasn't until as a sales trainer and consultant and I began to deconstruct the process that I had the epiphany that the two processes were vastly different. Here's what hit me. Sales managers would consistently tell us that, as a matter of fact, let me change the slide so you can see this. So sales managers would consistently tell us that they're confident in their sales team's ability to close business once they were in front of a target. They would say that their biggest barrier to success in closing business with new customers was really their inability to get enough initial appointments to begin the selling process. So I began to ask myself, if the skills are the same, why the struggle? So in order to help us see why those same selling skills that work in the pipeline phase of selling, i.e. questioning and qualifying, objection handling, closing type skills, don't work in the appointment setting phase, let's go compare what is happening in each of those environments. What we're looking at on the screen is a simple depiction of 4 elements of selling that occur in both the pipeline phase, i.e. once the targets agree to meet with us, and the appointment making phase that precedes us. First, let's take them one at a time in the pipeline stage. In an initial appointment, what we call the beginning repartee, the warm-up or the banter, if you will, is collegial or friendly, if not even sometimes downright warm. Our target has agreed to set this time aside for us, so they're normally friendly and open to us. The pace of the exchange is measured or comfortable. It's a normal conversation. As a matter of fact, it's perfectly acceptable to even take a moment to think about a question asked before we respond to it. The responses we receive from our target are generally thoughtful and they're based on business logic, because if they've agreed to invest the time with us, they're interested in learning whether it makes sense for them to move forward with us at the end of the meeting, just like we are. The final component is how we as sales professionals, though, prepare for those meetings. The pipeline phase of selling is actually the fun part, isn't it? What directly impacts our closing ratios and our paychecks is how good we are at thinking on our feet. It's all about how we can ask and answer questions and guide the discussion in the direction that's beneficial to both of us, as no 2 initial appointments unfold in exactly the same way. Now let's take a look at the appointment setting side of the chart. The difference is felt right off the bat, isn't it? The beginning repartee is many times adversarial, certainly not friendly. The pace of the exchange seems like it's happening at 95 miles an hour. And part of the reason it seems to be that way is that the responses from the target contain what we call conditioned knee-jerk responses that are designed to do nothing but get us off the phone. As a matter of fact, most of them aren't even true. As soon as the target realizes that this is a sales call, they go on autopilot. So they don't even need to stop and think about what they're going to say. The result is that if we try and respond with our typical objection handling approaches that we've learned to use in the pipeline phase of selling, which rely on logic, we'll fail until we get them beyond the conditioned knee-jerk response they've thrown up to us. So what that means to us as sales professionals is that in order to be effective on appointment making calls, we must understand these differences and prepare differently. The good news here, though, is that the appointment making formula, which is our methodology for setting appointments, does exactly that. Beginning with the techniques to limit the number of those different types of conditioned knee-jerk responses we get. doing that alone reduces the work we need to do in order to be prepared to handle those 95 mile an hour Nolan Ryan-like fastballs we get. The formula then follows up the limiting of those type of knee-jerk responses we hear with a technique we call bridging that quickly and effectively gets the target to quit thinking about how the heck to get us off the phone for a minute and opens their mind to a short conversation where we can apply some of our logical value proposition and some of our techniques that we use later in the selling process. We still will need, however, to be able to match the speed of the target's response. So we'll need to memorize, or as I like to say, internalize what we're going to say, when we're going to say it, and how we're going to say it. But with our approach, the job is much less formidable. So I hope this little video has helped you see why traditional approaches to selling have been ineffective and begins to show you how our approach to setting appointments is different and why those that have gone through our Prospectors Academies have never failed to at least double the number of initial appointments they were setting after going through the Academy. And by the way, that has always also led to an increase in sales and those things we all really like, commissions. So let me wrap up by saying this. If you're like the majority of our clients, understanding these differences has opened your eyes to why your sales team or you have been struggling with this phase of your selling process. If you have, give us a call. We can not only help with the effectiveness side of the equation, but also with the efficiency issues that I spelled out in that video I referenced earlier, the 6 reasons why managing appointment setting programs is so difficult. And thanks for watching and listening, and make it a great day.